Okay, so what I'm getting ready to do is to make some baked turkey wings. And I've took my turkey wings and I put them in the refrigerator and I marinated them with my seasonings on it because I just like for it to me, it tastes better when you do that. But you don't necessarily have to do that. So what I've done is I have a pan to put them in, and I'm going to place some onions in the bottom just to give it flavor. Plus I'm going to, this is going to make gravy. So I'm placing these onion rings on the bottom. And I make them big because my husband does not like onions. So hold on. Okay, I hope that gave more light. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is my turkey. I've already washed and seasoned it, as I said. And I put it into the refrigerator to marinate. I think what I'm going to do is move it over to some light. This is better. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my turkey, and it's the wings. I've cut off that other little flap just because I don't care for it. And this, it's not only the turkey wings, I have a turkey breast and then the wingettes. And what I did is I oiled the turkey and then I put my seasonings on because to me it sticks better when you do it that way. Hopefully we've got enough room in here. There we go. So I have my oven heating at 400 and I'm going to bake this at 400 degrees probably for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check it and see if it's ready, and then after that if it's not, I'll put it back in. But this is what it looks like right now, and I'm going to cover it with foil and put it into the oven, and I'll be back. Okay, so the oven's gone off and I've let my turkey wings bake for 30 minutes, and I'm going to check them and see if they need to cook more. So let's take them out of the oven. As I said, I put them in a pan, and I don't think they're ready. But we can check it out and see how they're coming along. So now I'm going to put it back in for probably an hour this time. Because that's not even close to being done. And that's at 400. So, okay, I'm going to put it back in and then I'll be back. Okay, so let's keep moving. My turkey is about to be ready to come out of the oven. And what I'm going to do is to make gravy to go over all over the turkey. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of oil, usually just enough to cover the pan. And for those of you who've asked me how do you make gravy, this is what you do. You put your oil in, and then what I'm going to do is add probably about maybe a little over a tablespoon of flour. Just so that it can brown and become okay. So what I'm going to do is just stir this around as it's browning. And if you have your oil in there and you feel like you need more flour, don't be afraid to add it, because what's going to happen is if you add more flour, it's going to be thick. And then what you can do is if it's too thick, you can always add more water or juice to it. I'm going to add a little bit more flour just because I don't want it. There we go. So I think that's about all that I'm going to add as far as flour. So you kind of like just let this brown cook until the flour gets brown. Okay, and to this I'm going to add some all-purpose seasoning, which is part of Watkins, my favorite spices. And if you're whatever you're making gravy for, that's how you season it. Like if I'm making sausage gravy, I might add different seasoning. I'm gonna let this just cook. It's the easiest thing that you can make, and honestly, it doesn't take very long. And as I said, I have my turkey in there, and it's getting ready to be done. So therefore, what I'm going to do is use my turkey juice as my liquid for my. Okay, let me put that over there. And my flour's still browning. You don't want it to burn, but you want it to get like a. It all depends if you want it dark gravy or if you want your gravy kind of light like that. You can surely do that. So what I'm going to do is let it just keep cooking until because I like brown gravy, until it gets brown. And to this you can add some pepper. I'm not adding a lot of seasoning because my turkey is pretty high seasoned. Once you leave it once you season it overnight, it really takes in the seasoning. I'm just going to keep stirring. And as you can see, it's starting to get color to it, a darker color. So let's just keep it cooking. You don't have to stay and stir it. It's not like you're making gumbo. With your gumbo roux, you want to keep stirring it because if it burns, you have to start over. But this is gravy, so you really don't have to stir it. I just stir it so that it doesn't stick because I don't want it to stick and burn either. So we're letting it cook. And like I said, this is basically the same recipe that you would make biscuits and gravy. You would take your sausage, which I think I'm going to do a video on that. You would take your sausage and you would brown your sausage, and then you'd make your roux in with your sausage. And then after it gets all brown in the way you want it, then that's when you pour your liquid in. And when you're making gravy, you can use various types of liquid. People use chicken stock. You can use milk. If you want a milk gravy, you can use just plain water. That works. And you know, if you're cooking any type of meat and it has a juice left on it, you can pour that into the pot as your liquid. So as you can see, it's starting to come to color for me. And what I did is I took my turkey wings out of the oven and I put them back in without the foil over it, so that it could get a little brown. Usually I have this up high, but I'm just taking it slow so that I can show everybody how to do this. And then you can, a lot of people buy gravy in the jar, and it's like, for what you're paying for that jar, you could probably make it cheaper at home. But as I said, a lot of people has been asking me. So you could, as you can see, the mixture's starting to get a little caramelized, I would say. And if I want it darker than that, then I will leave it on to caramelize even more. So what I'm going to do while that's cooking is I'm going to go ahead and take my turkey out. I always cook turkey in a pan. because I don't want it to spill over as I'm cooking it. So there we go. Okay, so my turkey's ready. Okay, now here, this is the color I was looking for. This kind of chocolate color. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my fire either down or off because this thing gets hot. Make sure you use good pot holders. Like that one's not very good. Let's just double it. This one's a better one. And you're going to pour your juice into your pot like that. There you go. And you just give it a stir. It'll if it comes out too not thick enough for you, you can always add more flour. If it comes out too thick for you, then you can add more water. So let's go ahead and get this to stir around. And yes, I did turn off my fire because I didn't want it to overcook. So what I'm going to do is taste a little bit of this. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is pour this over my turkey. Like so. There we go. And there's no need for me to put it back into the oven. So what I'm going to do is just turn off my oven. It's all canceled off. Turn off my, there we go. So I'm going to wrap this back up while it's hot. And I'm just going to let it sit there until the meat absorbs the gravy.